Because let me tell you, men can change. They will say thank you to you today, but the next minute they will forget about what you did for them. But if your first thought was to please God, you will never regret a glass of water that you gave to an ungrateful person. You will never regret the school fees that you paid for someone to go to school and then the person turned back against you. You will never regret someone betraying you, because first of all, you were not doing it to be seen by that person. You were not doing it to be thanked by anyone else, but you were doing it because you first loved God and because you wanted God to receive all the glory. Hello brothers and sisters, how you guys doing? I hope you're doing fine. As for me, I am doing amazing. God has been good. So I just wanted us to talk about something that is really rampant in this our generation today. And then when I was meditating, the word actually came into my heart. So it's in the book of Psalm chapter 1 verse 6, when the Bible says that for God knows the ways of the righteous, and the ways of the wicked those perish. I know that what I'm going to talk about today, most people wouldn't like it, but it's just the reality, and we have to be very cautious and very careful about that, because that is where generally what the enemy does is that he traps us in that thought that we think that okay, we're doing the right thing, meanwhile we are not doing it for God, isn't it? So this is something that happens every single time. It did happen to me in the past, and I'm still working on it at the moment, but I just say that let me just put it out there because it can help someone who knows. It's very easy these days to try all that we can to impress people around us. It's very easy because we've got social media, we've got all kinds of technology around us, and at times we can be doing things thinking that we're doing it for God, but actually we are doing it for our personal ego. We are doing it for our personal benefit. We are doing it for our personal thing, for God to see us. But what I like is that the God describes us as grass. God says that for human is like grass. We are just like grass. So then I was asking myself this morning that, but if God compare us to a grass, that means we are literally nothing. And if we understand that we are nothing, we ought to know that we shouldn't live our life to please men. We shouldn't live our life to please other people, because at the end of the day, God sees you. I see at times people trying their best when they see their work, their for example, their head in the place. They try to work so hard for them to be noticed. They try to work so hard for them to be known. At times they even take the thanks that was given to someone else. So when you have the knowledge in your head that God sees you at every place where you are, you try not to please men anymore. And that is why we have a lot of people who are hypocrite. We have a lot of people who envy others. Why? Because we do most of our things, we do it because we want to impress people. We do it because we want to impress the people around us. But when you understand that God sees you, God knows your heart. At times you're praying because you want people to think that you know how to pray. You're shouting, you're doing all kinds of things because you want people to think that you know how to pray. But you can fool everyone, but you can never fool God. You can fool your friends, you can fool your families, but you can never fool God. If there's something that I said to myself, is that God, I don't want to please anyone. I don't want to please my manager. I don't want to please my family. I don't want to please my friends. I don't care. All I want to please is you. The person that I want to please is you. That means even when I'm in the four corners of my room, I want to make sure that I am doing the right thing. Because when you have that thought of pleasing God, it makes you a good person. When you have that thought of doing everything for God, it makes you different among others. People will be asking, but where or what is she trying to do? You're not trying to do anything. You're just trying to please God. You're just trying to please God. And that is why there's even a verse in the Bible that says that you should not only do good when your master is around. You should not only be a good worker when your master is around. Make sure that you do things right at every time, at any time. Don't do things pretending that, okay, my manager is looking at me, I'm going to do it right. God is seeing you. The worst thing is that you may be thinking that, okay, you're doing this, okay, and no one is looking at you. God is looking at you. And if you're a child of God and then you say everything every day that you love God and then you want to please God, you ought to know that your word everything that comes out of your mouth, God is listening to it. Every single word that you say, God is listening to it. Every action that you put, God is seeing it. So are you living your life to please people? Are you living your life thinking that you're pleasing God, meanwhile you're pleasing people? Because at the end of the day, God judges even the thought of our heart. He says even when you think in your heart, in your mind, is going to be judged. I pray that this video may speak to someone. I pray that we should stop focusing on the fact that people are around us, but we should first of all think about loving God, about wanting to please Him. I want to please God. I don't want to please my family. I want to please God. I don't want to please my friend. So I beg you, brothers and sisters, wherever you are, always try your best to please God. Because let me tell you, men can change. They will say thank you to you today, but the next minute they will forget about what you did for them. But if your first thought was to please God, you will never regret a glass of water that you gave to an ungrateful person. You will never regret the school fees that you paid for someone to go to school and then the person turned back against you. You will never regret someone betraying you, because first of all, you were not doing it to be seen by that person. You were not doing it to be thanked by anyone else, but you were doing it because you first loved God and because you wanted God to receive all the glory. So I'll leave you guys here, and I pray that may this video reach you well. I pray that this video will bless a soul. I pray that this video is going to speak to a heart, and may God bless you guys abundantly. Look after yourself. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to share, subscribe, like, and obviously put your comment down below. I love you guys. Bye.